everybody, my name is Yvette and I'm coming to you from Yvette Marie's Fine Arts and Crafts. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this ruffle scarf or sachet brand. I use the sachet brand yarn preferably. We're going to crochet this particular scarf today. I'm going to show you two different ways of crocheting. If you are interested in learning how to knit the scarf, please check out my other videos on my YouTube channel. I do have one on there that shows you how to knit the scarf as well. But for today we're going to be crocheting the scarf, and again I'll be showing you two different ways. The first way I'm going to be showing you is kind of I've heard it called the no crochet crochet. It's a really easy form. The second way I'm going to show you is actually crocheting rows back and forth. I do prefer the sachet brand over other brands. The reason being, the sachet brand, when you work with it, the holes that you work with are a little smaller than some of the other brands. When you work with some of the other brands that have bigger holes, they tend to just not come out so ruffly like the sachet brand. They tend to come out a lot looser, which is perfectly fine. You know, everybody likes what they like, so if you prefer to use the other brands, that's perfectly fine too. You just might want to use a little bit of a bigger needle when you're working with it, or a bigger crochet hook. Today I'm going to be showing you how to use first the K-size crochet hook we're going to work with. So all you need is a crochet hook, your sachet scarf fabric, and then a pair of scissors. That's all you really need today. Some people choose to leave it in the manner that you first find it when it comes on this skein. Some people prefer to unwind the whole entire thing, which takes a good 40 minutes or more, or a little bit less, but an average of 40-45 minutes or so, to unwind the entire thing and stretch it as you unwind it, kind of like this. You just pull it and stretch it, and it makes it quicker when you're actually working with it, whether you're knitting or you're crocheting. It's already opened up for you, and you can just easily find the end that you're going to be working with to put your needle into or your hook into. Some people wind it just like this here. Some people prefer to wrap it around a paper towel roll or something similar that gives them something to start with for a base. Any way that you choose is perfect, and it's right for you. So if you want to go ahead and grab your yarn and your crochet hook, I'll wait for just a moment and we'll get started. Okay, one thing I want to show you before we get started actually working your crochet, the first crochet, is this one here. I just made a small sample to show you. This one here is done using every single hole, so to speak, that casting on every single hole. Okay, when you open your skein, it looks like this here. So we're actually going to be working from the top up here. The bottom down here is your border, and it usually has a sparkle or some kind of a decorative edging on it for the finished product. That's really cute. We're always going to be working from this top area. Some other instructions you might see or read talk about using the second row. I always work from the first row. I just prefer to work that way. Comes out really pretty much the same, not much different than if you were to work with the second row. The second row is just going to give you just a slightly, very slightly shorter ruffle instead of a longer ruffle. So this particular scarf here was done using every single hole, working into every single hole. You'll see how it comes out more of a bell shape. It just kind of hangs there. It's not really ruffly. It just kind of looks like it's going around in a circle. This one here was done working with every other hole as you cast on and work it. and it comes out a lot more roughly. Okay, just to show you the difference of the two and how to work it. So the first way we're going to work today is a really easy way to work your scarf, and it will come out pretty roughly. It won't look a whole lot different than if you work it the second way I'm going to show you in a little bit. So what you do is you can count in 3 or 4 stitches or holes at the top. Here you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll just count in 4, and then I'm going to take it, and you'll see that there's, in between your stitches, you've got these little tiny pieces of or strands of yarn or string or whatever to separate the holes that you're going to actually work into. We're just going to fold it in half on that first one after you count your 4 stitches. And then you're going to have a double layer just to start with. Now this is only going to be this way this one first time we start this to start your actual scarf. So you've got the 2 rows partially. Now for this purpose we're going to cast on 8 stitches onto your crochet hook. You can work anywhere from 8 to 10 and it will come out nice and ruffly. So in this manner we're going to start with your crochet hook working from the front to back. You're just going to place your crochet hook in those the two layers there, okay? And that's your first stitch that you're cast on. Second one, we're just going to ignore that one. Again, we're going to work every other one, so we're going to ignore the second one here. We're going to go into the third one. Okay, so now you've got 2. Even though those are double layers, you've got 2 stitches on your hook. Okay, we're going to skip the third one here, and we're going to go into the next one. Okay, again skipping that next one, going into the following one. Again skipping the next one, going into the following one. Okay, and so far we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're going to do the same thing for the next 2. We're going to skip one and go into the next one, skip one and go into the next one. Oops. Oh, wait a minute. I think that's only 7. We wanted 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1 more. Skipping one, going in to the next one. Okay, so again, you'll notice the first couple stitches I have on my hook, they're doubled up just because I folded that 1 row over, and so you've got your double layer here that you're hiding in behind, okay? That's not going to show when you finish it. It gets all hidden in the layers of the scarf as it hangs, and kind of hangs like a bell and just covers up what's underneath it, so you don't have to worry about that at this point. Okay, so the easy way we're going to do this first scarf is you're just going to keep the stitch closest to the end of the hook on the hook. You can kind of take your fingers like this, pull it taut away from the crochet hook just a little bit. Turn the crochet hook down, keeping that first stitch on the crochet hook, and we're going to pull that first stitch through all the way to the end. Okay, so we're going to keep that first stitch here on the crochet hook, pulling this taut, turn the hook, this is already coming a little loose, and then we're just going to pull gently to the other side. Okay, and you'll see that that leaves us with just the 1 left on the hook. We're going to repeat this again for the second row. This is your first row here. We're going to do the same thing for your second row. So since we've already got 1 on the hook, we're going to go along the yarn, skipping every other one again, and we're going to pick up 7 more to give us a total of 8. So we'll skip that one, go into the next one, skip, 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 Oops. Go into the next one, skip, skip one, go into the next one. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's do one more, skip, go into the next one. Okay, repeating the same thing we did with the first row. Put that one towards the tip so that it holds it nice and secure. Turn it so that it kind of grabs it, and then just gently pull through all 7 of the other ones. Okay, now you can see you've got 2 layers. You've got your first one and your second one here. You're going to continue working in this manner until you are close to the end of your scarf, and you've got, say, at least 6 to 8 of these holes left at the end. So I'm just going to do a little bit, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like, and then I'll show you how to cast off this particular style of crochet with this one, and then we'll move on to the other one where you actually create stitches, crochets, stitches, single crochets with it, and then we'll work the other one too. Be back in just a moment. Okay, so I've just crocheted a small sample for you in the no crochet fashion. And I'm going to show you the original sample from the beginning of the video. This one here is knitted, and you'll see there's a little bit of a difference in the 2 versions, the knitted version and the no crochet version. I just want you to see the difference in the way they look. This one's still pretty ruffly. It's not quite as full as the knitted version we have here. Okay. Now this technique I'm going to show you for ending your scarf, you can use with the knitted version as well. I show you a different way to end your scarf in the knitted version. This is a little bit of an easier way, and it's still just as secure. Okay, so I just have a little strand here, and this could be the end of your skein of yarn, for example. And say, for example, you just don't have enough to do another row, and this is the end of your yarn. Your scarf is done. All you have to do is to keep that one stitch you have on there and just pull through this whole entire chunk of yarn. Okay, pull it through that last stitch. Okay, like this here. Now I wouldn't leave it like that. You can tie a knot close to that stitch that you pulled it through. Okay, nice and tight, and then just clip it. Leave a little bit, but then clip it about right here, maybe 1/2 inch at the most or so that this yarn doesn't unravel. And when you wear the scarf, it just kind of falls over, so you really don't even see underneath there once you clip it. You never even notice that knot. The way this scarf is made, whether it's knit or crochet, it's sort of just, the yarn just kind of drapes over itself, and you don't even see what you're working with in the end. It's just kind of hidden underneath there. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to work with the actual crochet where you create the stitches and you actually work a single crochet with your yarn. So if you want to get another sample of yarn, come on back and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. Okay, so now we're going to actually crochet in a manner that creates stitches such as single crochet, and we're going to work back and forth in rows with your sachet yarn or fabric, and it's going to be more similar to the knitted version that I showed you. So we're just going to take the first inch or two, which is usually 3 or 4 stitches, and we're just going to fold it back again like we did the first time. and we're going to insert the hook into that first set of stitches. Again, we're going to be skipping a stitch, working the next one, skipping a stitch, working the next one, like we did with the first example of crochet, okay? So for this example, we're going to have our hook into the first set of stitches, and it's doubled, just that first couple inches is doubled. We're going to skip the second one, and we're going to work into this third one here, okay? We're going to skip one more, we're going to work into the next one, and we're just casting on 3 at this point to work with, okay? Now we're just going to keep the one towards the end, and we're going to pull that one through the other 2 loops, okay? We're going to do that 5 or 6 more times. For this example, we'll do it 5 more times, and it will create our actual loops that we're going to work into, and I'll show you in just a moment, to crochet back the second row backwards the other way. So again, we've got one on the hook, skip one, just go into the second one to create that loop on the hook, skip another one, go into that next one, okay? And again, we're just going to keep the first one on the hook, and we're going to bring these 2 over the second one. Okay, and keep this nice and loose. You don't want to pull it too tight, because the second row we work, we want to be able to actually find these stitches that we're creating right now, the holes, to work back into when we go turn the work around and work back the other way. So we're going to do it again. Skip one, work into the next one, skip one, work into the next one. So we've got 3 on our hook again. Keep this one on the hook and just draw these 2 over. Okay, let's do that again. Skip one here, work into the next one, skip one, work into the next one, and then draw those 2 over. Skip one, work into the next one, skip one, work into the next one. Keep that one on the hook, draw these 2 over, okay, and let me see how many we've got now. Okay, so at this point you'll be able to see we've created these holes to work into. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And if you just pull away a little bit, pull that away, if you kind of just stretch it out a little bit, just gently, not to pull them taut, you can actually see these holes, and it sort of forms like a single crochet, or the edging as if you were crocheting, okay? So we've got the one left on our hook, and we're just basically going to chain one. So we're going to skip this one here, go into the second one, pull it through as if we were chaining one, okay? Now the work that's here on the right hand side, we're going to take that and we're just going to put it behind, because what we're going to do is we're going to bring it over to the left. We're going to work back down this row. So we're going to find that first hole. We've got the 5 holes again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that last one's a little tighter because it's the first one we actually created initially. Okay, so what we're going to do so we're going to go into the first hole. Now this is, your yarn's pretty forgiving, so say for example this is your hole here to work into, but say you work into this one below it. Once or twice going back and forth is really not going to make a big deal. The sachet yarn's pretty forgiving, and it's so ruffly you don't even see it. Okay, so you're not going to notice that one little mistake you might have made. So we're just going to go into the hole here that we have on the top edge. We're going to go into that first hole. Oops, we're going to bring this yarn behind us before we get started. So we're going to have the yarn working back here. And of course we're going to skip a hole. So we're going to skip this one here. We're going to work into this one. So we're going to bring that onto the needle. So this is the area we're working into the hole. So we're just going to bring this through that first loop without going through the second loop. We're going to keep the farthest one on the needle at this point. Now we're going to skip a hole. We're going to take the next one, place it on our hook, and now we're going to actually work the ending portion of a single crochet, for example, and we're going to bring this through both of these. So these both are going to come off the needle, these two stitches, okay? So there you go. That's your first single crochet in your row going backwards. We're going to repeat that again. Okay, so we've got four more stitches to go. We've got this one here, 2, 3, and then the fourth one, which is our original first stitch on the first row. Okay, so we're going to go into that second loop here. We're going to pick up that second loop, and we're going to use the yarn from behind, again skipping one, going into the second one. Okay, just bring this one through the middle stitch. Okay, so you've got 2 on there. We're going to go do this again, skip, go into the next one from the back yarn that we're working with, bring this through both of these. So we're just going to lift both of these off and over. Okay, so now that's 2 stitches that we've got worked on our second row, and we've got 3 left. We've got this black one here, this white one here, and this gray one that was the first one. So it's the last one on this row as we're working backwards. So we're going to repeat this again. Keeping the stitch on here, we're going to go into the row of the fabric we're working with, the worked row. We're going to skip this first stitch in the yarn we're working with behind. We're going to go into the second. Okay, then we're just going to pull it through the middle one first. Work the yarn again, skip, go to the next one, and then pull the 2 stitches that are left on the hook over the one that we're leaving on the hook. Okay, so we're finishing that single crochet. So we've got 2 stitches left to work in the row. So we're just going to go into this one hole that you see here. Okay, the yarn from behind, skip one, go into the second, pull it through just the first, or the middle hole I should say, keep those 2 stitches on, one more time, skip, work into the next one, and then we're going to draw both of these over the hook. Okay, we're going to work the last stitch in the same fashion, go through that hole, the yarn that we're working with from behind, skip one, bring the next one on the needle, or the hook, excuse me, only bring it through the first layer, working with the yarn from behind again, skip one, work into the second one, and then bring it through both. Okay, so this is the way we worked it from this end to this end. So now we're going to flip this, and you're going to have the same thing. You're going to find your 5 stitches here along the top of your row, and you're just going to work in the same fashion that we just did, and you're going to keep doing this so that you keep turning your fabric, bringing your working yarn to the back, and going around and around and around your layers. See, it's already starting to ruffle here. Okay, I'll just do a couple more stitches. So we're going to find that first hole next to your hook, go into it using your working yarn from behind, skip one, go into the next one, pull through the middle loop, repeat, skip one, go into the next loop, and then pull both over to finish your single crochet. Next hole on your working piece that you've worked, go in, take your working yarn, skip a hole, go into the next one, pull it through the middle loop only. Take your working yarn again to complete your single crochet, skip one, work into the second one, and then pull through. Okay, I'll just finish out this row really quick. And again, the last one might be a little tighter, so it's kind of difficult to pick up. You'll see that this is the last one, and it's, again, the yarn is really forgiving. If you pull that and it's the wrong one, it's not going to show in the end. So consistently keeping your 5 stitches, pull away a little bit, working yarn, keep it to the back, and then just flip this over, and you're going to work back along the row again. 1, 2, 3, oops. They're kind of getting a little tight, so you want to keep this kind of loose as you're working it. Don't, when you're pulling your needle through that final step in each stitch, don't pull really tight, because then these are going to be a little more difficult to see. You can still pull them and find them, but they just become a little more difficult to see. Okay, so that's really it. And then when you get to the end of your skein, like I showed you before, you're going to do the same procedure for ending your scarf. You'll have the 1 stitch on your needle, or excuse me, your hook. You'll have, you know, 6 or 8 holes left, and you just take it and bring it through your last stitch, tie that knot, and then snip it off. Okay, really easy. If you have any questions, please feel free to post a comment below. Otherwise, you can email me at YvetteMarie'sFineArt@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. And I will be posting other videos on other techniques in knitting, certain stitches and things like that, and how to knit certain stitches. And so just keep posted, keep checking back. I'll be adding more videos, and again, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer for you. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.